Okay, President On, we may begin.
Thank you. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Cannabis Regulation Commission meeting. Today is Thursday, February 24th, 2022. The time now is 2:31 p.m. I'm President Robert On. I'll be chairing this meeting. The following commissioners have also joined virtually via Zoom: Vice President Mason, Commissioners Naro, Mercado, and Villa. DCR's Executive Director Kat Packer has also joined this meeting, along with members of the department and the City Attorney's Office. We'll begin with some general instructions. Due to the COVID-19 pandemic, this meeting is being recorded. It's being conducted virtually via Zoom and is being live streamed on DCR's website. Individuals who wish to watch this meeting may do so by visiting cannabis.lacity.org and clicking the About menu item on the top. Under the About menu, click the Commission Meetings link and scroll down to the bottom of the Commission Meetings page to find the live stream. Folks can also listen to this meeting by calling Council Phone at 213-621-2489 or 818-904-9450 and selecting the number for this meeting. Members of the public who want to offer public comment may call one of the following toll-free numbers: 877-853-5257 or 888-475-4499. Enter meeting ID 860-838-7310. These numbers can also be found on the agenda for this meeting. Agenda for today's meeting can be found on the department's website at cannabis.lacity.org and navigating to the commission page under the About menu. This meeting is being recorded, therefore we ask commissioners, staff, and members of the public to make sure you state your name clearly before you speak. The audio file will be posted online within 48 hours of the meeting. If you are in the Zoom call, when the item you wish to speak on is called, press *9 to get on the speaking queue. The commission executive assistant will call out each speaker by the last 4 digits of their phone to identify the caller. The caller will be prompted to unmute themselves by dialing *6. If there are no other items you wish to speak on, you may disconnect from this call and view the meeting via the live stream or dial council phone to listen only. Today's presentation to the Commission will be available on the department's website within 2 business days from this meeting. We will consider general public comment and single or multiple agenda items together. Therefore, speakers will have 1 minute for general public comment and 1 minute per item, with a maximum of 2 minutes for multiple items. We ask that each speaker state whether they are providing general public comment and/or which other item or items they are speaking on before they can begin to comment, so that we can appropriately time them. If the speaker does not specify which items they are speaking on, only 1 minute will be provided. With that, let's begin with the general public comment and single or multiple agenda items. Speakers can address the commission on non-agenda items, provided that they are within the jurisdiction of this commission, or provide public comment for items in today's agenda by dialing *9 on your telephone. If you're listening on the live stream and you've called to provide public comment, please mute the live stream before you begin speaking to eliminate feedback. Commissioners and staff, please mute your microphones. Mr. Vizo, please call the first speaker.
I don't see anyone with a raised hand at the moment. If anyone wishes to provide public comment, please dial *9.
I see we have a raised hand.
Yes, caller with phone number ending in 2500. Please state your name and the items you wish to speak on.
Yes, hi, my name is Eli Chartkoff, and I'd like to provide some general public comment.
Sure, you have 1 minute.
Okay, thank you. I live directly next door to the Green Earth Collective in Eagle Rock, Highland Park, and we are still waiting for the Commission's report on the investigation into the killing at the Green Earth Collective last year. Please contact Kevin DeLeon's field office and give them an update on that. We need to know how that investigation is going and what you have found. The other thing I would like to say is that as far as I know, the Commission is still not issuing permanent licenses for dispensaries. The Green Earth Collective has been operating under a temporary license for, I believe, 6 years now, and what we're looking for from the Commission is actually doing regulation as they are supposed to, which is not happening right now. I see no accountability at all for the actions of the Green Earth Collective. Thanks very much.
Thank you. If anyone wishes to provide public comment, please dial *9.
Let's give it another minute. Okay, seeing there are no callers, I'm going to go ahead and close both the general public comment agenda item and the single multiple agenda item periods. With that, we'll go to item number 1. Commissioners, you should have seen the advanced calendar with our future meeting dates. Please take a look and advise if there are any planned absences for any of the upcoming meetings. Okay, I don't see any. Let's move on to the approval of the minutes. We were sent the minutes of February 3rd, 2022 for review. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes?
This is Commissioner Villa. I move to approve the minutes of February 3rd, 2022.
Thank you, Commissioner Villa with the motion. Can I have a second?
Commissioner Naro, I second the motion.
Thank you, Commissioner Naro. Ms. Treviso, please call the roll.
Commissioner Villa, how do you vote?
I vote aye.
Commissioner Naro, how do you vote?
Aye.
Commissioner Mercado, how do you vote?
Aye.
Vice President Mason, how do you vote?
Aye.
President An, how do you vote?
Aye.
The vote is 5-0 and the motion passes.
Thank you. Moving on to commission announcements and updates. Commissioners, do we have any announcements and updates at this time? Okay, let's move on to future agenda requests. Commissioners, do we have any requests at this time? Okay, let's move on to item number 2, finding to continue teleconference meetings pursuant to AB 361. AB 361 requires that all legislative bodies make findings considering the state of emergency stemming from the COVID-19 pandemic to continue holding virtual meetings. Do I have a motion to approve and continue teleconference meetings pursuant to AB 361?
This is Commissioner Villa. I move that the Commission determine in accordance with AB 361, Section 3E3, that this legislative body has considered the circumstances of the state of emergency and that the state of emergency continues to directly impact the ability of the members to meet safely in person and/or state or local officials continue to impose or recommend measures to promote social distancing.
Thank you, Commissioner Villa. Do we have a second?
Commissioner Naro, I second the motion.
Thank you, Ms. Treviso. Please call the roll.
Commissioner Villa, how do you vote?
I vote aye.
Commissioner Naro, how do you vote?
Aye.
Commissioner Mercado, how do you vote?
Aye.
Vice President Mason, how do you vote?
Aye.
President An, how do you vote?
Aye.
The vote is 5-0 and the motion passes.
Thank you. We're going to take the agenda items slightly out of order today. I'm going to prioritize the items that require commission action. We'll start with item number 4 next. Item number 4 is a policy update from the Department of Cannabis Regulation concerning Council File 21-1083 and possible commission action and/or recommendations. Do we have a presentation from staff today?
Yes, President, I'll be leading today's presentation for agenda
Ms.
item.
Thacker, how much, just so I can forecast the time, how much time do you estimate this item will take?
So this particular item, I only have about 5 to 7 minutes of presentation alongside item number 5. But I can tell you that item number 3 will require at least 45 minutes.
45 minutes there, and then 5 to 7 minutes for 4, and then how about item number 5?
Same. It of course will depend on any questions from commissioners. But
Okay.
only about 5 minutes, 5 to 7 minutes of presentation for agenda items 4 and 5.
All right, let's start with item number 4.
All right. Next slide, please. So good afternoon, commissioners. Today for agenda item number 4, I'd like to provide a policy update regarding Council File 21-1083. This particular council file we have given a number of reports on, but I'm hoping that today we can ask for your vote in support of a package that has already moved through council and moved through and received the support of the mayor's office. However, I'm going to be asking this body to take a vote on this package because at a previous commission meeting, specifically on December 6th, this body took a position on reports that have been superseded. So just to do a quick recap and summary, give you the latest, want to share that on February 16th, Council approved a motion from council members Harris, Dawson, and Price, along with the report that was transmitted by the department. This particular report included an interim budget request and several proposed ordinance amendments. We are happy to report that we were able to work very closely with the authors of the original motion to refine their recommendations and also to move specific policy that we felt are going to be important for the improvement of our licensing and social equity program. Again, we've given detailed reports to this body about what was included in that package. And of course, if any of our council commissioners have any questions about that particular package, we'll be here to answer any questions. But in summary, the proposed amendments would establish timelines for the department to complete specific application processes. It would essentially authorize the implementation of the California Local Jurisdiction Assistance Grant and allow us to execute related programming. And it also authorized 21 positions for the department to implement our annual licensing process and the CEQA-related processes. So this entire package moved through full council on February 16th, and just earlier this week, this package was approved by the mayor. Next slide, please. So what I would like to be able to do with you now is to share next steps for the implementation of this particular package of amendments. What the city council and mayor voted on in part was to instruct the city attorney to draft and present an ordinance that would effectuate the package of policy amendments that we've shared. The mayor and city council will then consider that draft and would have to adopt it before those particular municipal code changes would take effect. However, DCR is already working to update our internal processes and procedures and external resources related to those changes. And part of that work includes making updates to our rules and regulations. So I can imagine at a future commission meeting, we'll be coming back and sharing with this body updates to the rules and regs, and also sharing with you all specific information about how the department has changed some of its external resources and processes associated with this particular council file. For example, the package will allow folks to go through entity verification prior to applying for temporary approval. We'll be putting together instructions for applicants to complete that process. Similarly, the package includes amendments that would allow applicants to refile their applications. It's something that was well supported by this commission and by stakeholders. And so we'll be putting together instructions, information, resources on how folks can complete that process as well. We're working on these things now, knowing that these changes themselves won't become effective until some later date. But we're working closely with the city attorney's office and others to make sure that this can be implemented both in a timely fashion and in an efficient one. As it relates to the positions that were recently approved, we are currently working with the personnel department to establish those new positions, and there's a whole process involved in establishing the new positions. But in summary, we are working with the personnel department so that they can transmit a report essentially requesting the positions to be established, get that report in front of the Civil Service Commission. The Civil Service Commission will then need to allocate all 21 positions, and once allocated, DCR may begin the hiring process. We will need to conduct interviews and make job offers for all of these 21 positions. And again, we're working on implementing, executing a plan that will allow us to do just that. But I think that this is one of those times where it's going to be important for us to do some reasonable and responsible expectation management. The reality is that we will not begin to fill those positions until July or August. This is part of the reason why we were so intentional with our advocacy to make sure that this was approved as an interim budget request, as opposed to a request through the normal city's budget process, because as I'll share in the next agenda item, that process is on a different timeline. So with the policy and legislative approval that we've gotten to date on this item, we'll be positioned to implement these funds to move new folks into these positions and also to implement these policy changes. But what I'd like to ask again is for this body to take a vote and action in support of the package that is now been approved by the city council and mayor. Again, I know that a lot of the times I'm asking you all to take these votes prior to council and the mayor taking action. I think that this is one of those important issues that even though the city council and mayor have already taken action, it would be important for the commission to take a position on as well. And so that's my ask today as a part of agenda item number 4. That concludes my presentation for this agenda item. Of course, here to answer any questions that you have, but I'll leave with the request for a vote.
Thank you, Ms. Packer. I just want to open it up to the commission for any questions or comments or deliberations for the staff.
Vice President,
A question.
I'm sorry.
Let's go ahead. We have Commissioner Naro and then Commissioner Villa.
Oh, thank you. Sorry about that. Thank you so much. I have a question. You know, I know the city moves very slowly because they have to go through a process with the personnel department, but is there any way to expedite that process without disrupting the quality of the process itself? And maybe, because it'd be ideal to have those positions before July or August, but I don't know if there's a process for that.
So thank you, Commissioner Naro. I appreciate the question, and I hold the same sentiment. I think that the reality is that the process is what it is, and we have to follow that process, but there's no need for that process to take any longer than it is absolutely required to take. And so part of what we're working on, both with the mayor's office, the CAO's office, the personnel department's office, is making sure that we have a plan and everybody understands their role in that plan, and that folks are ready for, essentially, we want the Civil Service Commission to be ready for when it comes into their hands. We want the Personnel Department to be prepped and ready for it when we need to get to certifying positions for interviews. So I think while there's not a way to change the process per se, we're going to be doing everything that we can, and we're asking the mayor's office and city council to do everything that they can to ensure that we don't end up in situations where things don't move in front of the Civil Service Commission for months or weeks. So that's the work that we're doing right now, but unfortunately, there's not a shortcut to the process.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Commissioner Villa?
Yes, I'm really glad to hear that the city council's acted on this and the mayor has acted on this. And in light of our prior position and the request of the Director Packer, I would like to move that this commission submit a letter of support of the package which moved through council on February 16th of 22 and through the mayor's office, and that such letter be included in council file 21-1083.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor. Do we have a second?
This is Commissioner Nato. I second the motion.
Okay, just for the record, can we just, I want to just be clear in terms of the wording of the commission. Mr. Vizo, do you have the language that you need? Or do you want further clarification?
The language for the letter?
For the motion.
You can state.
Okay, Commissioner Villa, let's try that again. I just want to be clear for the record.
Okay, I move that the commission submit a letter of support of the package which moved through council on February 16th of 2022 and through the mayor's office, and that such letter be included in council file 21-1083.
Okay, Ms. Packer, is that language sufficient? I'm just trying to.
So, President On, I know that Taylor Wagner, our counsel, is here, and so I think it's she's best positioned to weigh in and articulate whether or not
Yes.
it's sufficient.
Hello, President On. This is Taylor Wagner. Did you have a specific concern?
No. I just want to make sure that the language is sufficiently clear.
I believe it's sufficiently.
Okay, let's move forward based on that. We have a second from Commissioner Naro. Mr. Vizo, please take the roll.
Commissioner Villa, how do you vote?
I vote aye.
Commissioner Narl, how do you vote?
Aye.
Commissioner Mercado, how do you vote?
Aye.
Vice President Mason, how do you vote?
Aye.
President On, how do you vote?
Aye.
The vote is 5-0 and the motion passes.
Thank you. Okay, let's move on to item number 5. This is the budget proposal from the Department of Cannabis Regulation and possible commission action and/or recommendations. Ms. Packer?
Yes, thank you, President On. We do have a presentation, and I'll be leading it on behalf of the department. Next slide, please. So part of what I'd like to be able to do today as a part of our presentation of our fiscal year 2022-23 proposed budget is to just give you an overall framework summary of what's been included in our budget request. I want to articulate that we have shared these items previously with this body, but want to be able to provide more context, have a specific conversation about it, be able to provide any questions that you all have. I also, before I get into a summary, want to articulate that a full copy of our budget proposal was included as a link on this particular agenda item. Has several dozen pages, so to the extent that commissioners had an opportunity to go through it in public, would like to look at it, it is available via link on the agenda itself. That being said, I'll walk you through what our request is, what our next steps are, and then I'll also be asking for a vote in support of the request that we've made to date. And I may ask my Assistant General Manager, Jason Colleen, for backup, just in case any of the, I need help on any of the questions related to the budget. That being said, I want to articulate that our fiscal year 2022-23 budget was submitted to the mayor's office in November. Generally, we requested a continuation of all of our existing position authorities and funding resources. And now that the 21 positions were just recently approved, the interim budget request also continuation of those 21 positions. This is really going to allow us to expand our licensing resources, stand up a formidable compliance and enforcement section, and expand programming for social equity applicants. As a general matter, it's existing positions and the additional positions that we articulated that we're asking for, all of which would be funded by the department's special fund. Separate and apart from resources funded by our special fund, the department also made a bold and deliberate ask of resources to fund equity programming and an enforcement strategy. In total, we requested $20 million from the city's general fund, $10 million we've requested to be dedicated towards the social equity program. Specifically, we asked for $3 million to be dedicated to the city's business licensing and compliance assistance program. As a reminder, back in 2019, the city council passed a budget policy saying that they would fund business licensing and compliance assistance $3 million a year for a period of 3 years. We got the initial allocation in 2019. We did not get an allocation in 2020. We did get an additional allocation in 2021. And so what we're really asking for here is for council in the city to make good on the promise and policy that it adopted back in 2019 by providing a third year of what would be a $9 million commitment to establishing business licensing and compliance assistance programming. And I'm sure as a part of Dr. Brown's report today, you're going to hear lots of exciting information about what we've been able to build and make available and accessible to folks through the resources that we've received to date for this particular program. We did make a new ask for $7 million for financial assistance. Essentially, what we're hoping to be able to do is to establish a revolving fund that would allow social equity applicants to have access to financial assistance in the form of loans or fee deferrals. We recognize and we knew this firsthand, but we've also been able to collect data directly from stakeholders that makes clear that access to capital is folks' #1 barrier to entry. Fortunately, we have been successful thus far at securing resources from the state of California and then distributing those resources back to our social equity applicants. However, we know that we cannot continue to solely rely on the state to provide financial assistance. The reality is that the pot of money at the state just isn't big enough, and we're just not getting enough of it. And so with this particular ask, we're asking the city to make an intentional investment in this particular program to allow social equity applicants to have access to financial assistance. It's important to note that the resources that we pull together for these programs, whether it's through the state and grants that we're able to secure, or successes that we've had in securing general fund dollars, these are the only resources that equity applicants or that the industry at large may have available to them because of federal prohibition. This industry and thereby our social equity applicants do not have access to the same types of financial assistance, business development services that virtually every other industry in the city of Los Angeles, in the state of California, have access to. And so we recognize how important it is for social equity applicants to have access to capital and for the city to contribute to that effort. In addition to requesting $10 million to support equity program, we also made a pretty bold ask to ask the city to put $10 million towards an enforcement strategy against unlicensed commercial cannabis activity. The reality is that in order for us to have a responsible and equitable market, we need folks to follow the rules, and everyone's not following the rules, and that creates a unfair advantage. Beyond that, the reality is that there continue to be public health and public safety issues associated with unlicensed commercial cannabis activity that remain unaddressed. And we put together a budget request that would allow for a progressive enforcement strategy. I want to be clear, we're not requesting these dollars so that we see a drug war 2.0. Rather, we're requesting that the city fund a progressive enforcement strategy that would allow, really for the first time, other agencies like the fire department or Department of Water and Power or Department of Building and Safety to have resources so that they can take the lead in utilizing some of their tools like utility disconnection or the enforcement of fire code or building code to address unlicensed commercial cannabis activity. These have been our asks. This is what was included in our fiscal year 22-23 budget. Next slide. Now that I've shared a summary of the contents of what's in the budget, and since you all have had an opportunity to see the budget as it's linked on the agenda, I would just want to share big picture what some of the next steps are in the process. And I'll be asking for your support on this budget request, not just as a part of today's action, but really I'm sharing this information about the timeline so that the commission can play a more active role in advocating through the budget process and ultimately until the new fiscal year begins and ultimate decisions are made about what resources will be put into programming. So just yesterday, we had what's referred to as the departmental budget hearing. It's only city staff that join these meetings, but it's essentially an opportunity for the department to present information to the CAO's office in coordination with the mayor's office. When we had our meeting yesterday, fortunately, we were in a position where we were able to first thank the mayor and CAO and city council for their support of our interim budget request. We really, really wanted to make sure that that interim budget request was approved before we sat down and had a budget hearing to talk about additional resources or the continuation of resources. And because city council and the mayor have already approved those 21 positions and various authority for us needed to implement the program, we're in a really good position to make sure that those resources are continued in the next fiscal year. As we mentioned previously, we're currently working with the personnel department to establish those new positions. And we're also working with the CAO to update our fee structure to make sure that we continue to be full cost recovery. Now, looking ahead between now and the beginning of the fiscal year, after these departmental budget hearings that are happening between the CAO's office and all of the city departments, what happens next is folks will work together until ultimately the mayor's proposed budget gets released. And as coincidence would have it, this proposed budget comes out every year on or about 4/20. So we will be able to see a preview or see the mayor's proposed budget in late April. And then from there, members of the Budget and Finance Committee will begin their deliberations largely in reaction to the mayor's proposed budget. And full city council will ultimately have an opportunity to consider the budget. After the mayor's proposed budget comes out and there are Budget and Finance Committee deliberations, ultimately the budget will need to be adopted in June, just in time for the new fiscal year to begin. So again, this is a process that started in November and won't conclude until July, but I'm hoping that we can have a conversation today about any questions, feedback that you all have about our budget proposal, the request that we've made. I'm also going to ask for this body's vote and support of that ask, and then your continuous support as we move through these next steps to secure resources in the next fiscal year. That concludes my presentation as it relates to agenda item number 5, but again, here to answer any questions that folks may have.
Thank you, Ms. Packer. I'm going to open it up to the commissioners. We have Vice President Mason.
Thank you, President Ahn, and thank you, Director Packer. I wanted to express my appreciation for the department, including this body in the budget process and giving us an opportunity to weigh in and support your endeavors to secure the financing that you need to continue to build out this program, service the social equity and other cannabis licensees. I do have a motion, but I'm gonna hold off in case other commissioners have questions or would like to make some remarks.
I'll just start by saying thank you.
Any other comments, questions? Okay, Vice President Mason, you get a motion?
Thank you, I do. I would like to move that this commission submit a letter.
I'm sorry, Vice President Mason, I think you muted yourself.
Let's try that again.
I didn't mute myself. Your team is efficient. I would like to move that this commission submit a letter of support, a letter communicating our support of the DCR fiscal year 2022-2023 proposed budget as presented today.
Thank you. Do we have a second?
Commissioner Nato, I second the motion.
Commissioner, President On, I just have a question. Could you ask? I have a question on the wording of Vice President Mason's motion, because I thought I heard her say submitted to date, but it was submitted to the mayor's office on November 19th of 21, and it's that proposal, that budget proposal that we want to support. I just want to be sure we have our dates correct, unless I misunderstood what she said. Could we address that, please?
Is the requester, I think it'd be a completely appropriate, and I'll specifically request that this body vote in support of the budget proposal transmitted in November of 21 and as presented to this body today. And I know that our legal counsel is on this line as well. So Ms. Wagner, if you have any suggestions or feedback, please let us know.
This is Commissioner Vi. Thank you for making that clarification, Director Packer.
Do we have any comments from the city attorney?
No, President On. I believe it's sufficiently clear. Thank you.
Okay, great, thanks. Commissioner V, are you clear?
Yes, and then in that case, with that addition of the November 19th, 21 date, I second the motion.
Okay, so you have a friendly amendment to the original motion? You want to incorporate that?
That's correct, as suggested by Director Packer.
Okay. Vice President Mason?
I have no objection. It's the same.
Okay, let's proceed.
It's just apples and oranges over dates. Yeah.
Let's proceed with a roll call.
Just to be clear, President On, the first was still Vice President Mason,
Yes.
and then seconded by Commissioner Villa? Or we?
Yes, I second that motion.
Yes.
Thank you. Vice President Mason, how do you vote?
I vote aye.
Commissioner Villa, how do you vote?
I vote aye.
Commissioner Mercado, how do you vote?
I vote aye.
Commissioner Naro, how do you vote?
Aye.
President Han, how do you vote?
Aye.
The vote is 5-0 and the motion passes.
Thank you. Moving on to item number 3. Let's see. We have the social equity program updates. Dr. Brown, are you with us?
Yes, I am. Thank you very much.
Hello, Dr. Brown. How much time do you need for your presentation, roughly?
Probably about 40 minutes in total.
40 minutes? Okay,
45
no problem.
minutes in total, okay?
Perfect. Take your time.
Okay, can everybody see me?
Yes.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. And good afternoon, commissioners. I hope that you are all well and thriving. Today, I will be making a detailed presentation on all that my team has accomplished since April 20th of 21. Now, although I've made presentations to this body in the past, highlighting our various programs, there does seem to be a persistent perception out there that the social equity program does not offer its applicants any services or benefits. In fact, recent articles by reputable news organizations seemingly do not receive our emails, nor do they check our website, where these services are regularly published. And I am disappointed that this false information is being spread, especially when it might discourage our social equity applicants from taking advantage of all that we have to offer. My hope is that this presentation today will help dispel these misconceptions and encourage more folks to spread the word about our programming. Next slide, please. In light of this, I would like to remind everyone, as I always do, of the mission of the social equity program, and which brings us to this work every day. And the mission of the social equity program is to promote equitable ownership and employment opportunities in the cannabis industry in order to decrease disparities in life outcomes for marginalized communities and to address the disproportionate outcomes of the failed war on drugs. Next slide. This chart shows the increased license types currently available to social equity applicants now that our licensing portal has resumed operations as of October 1st of 2021. Next slide, please. Now keep in mind that cultivation, delivery, and retail licenses are solely available to social equity applicants through January 1st of 2025. Next slide. And now I'll provide some updates on our business licensing and compliance program. Next. This slide shows the history of the DLC program, as we affectionately call it, and all that it took to begin the process. Now, the City of LA Social Equity Program was codified into law in 2017. However, funding allocations for the Social Equity Program was not made available until 2019. Though we issued our first RFQs in 2019, we were not able to fully execute contracts for our vendors until the last quarter of 2020. Now, that was due to the city's contracting freeze caused by the COVID pandemic. And then we began work with our vendors in April of 2021. And the program officially launched in August of 2021, just a short 6 months ago. Next. This slide provides a list of the Business Licensing and Compliance Career Fair, our Tech Week, and 13 live webinars that were presented from August through November of 2021. Next. Here's a snapshot of the volume of external communications that our Business Licensing and Compliance team has been engaged with since August of 2021. We've sent out 42,090 e-blasts over a 6-month period. We've done 11,691 texts and 15,000 calls. We had a team of interns from our North Star Alliance team that called all of our social equity individual applicants 9 times. We have 1,600 social equity individual applicants. Next slide, please. This is an overview. In 2022, we have an exciting lineup of new offerings for our BLC content through April. First, we have our monthly beachside chats, which feature panels of cannabis experts discussing the hottest topics in cannabis cybersecurity and live audience Q&A. We are continuing our live webinars series with 29 webinars through April. These webinars will cover topics ranging from licensing to career pathways, to raising capital, to webinars on topics from distribution and manufacturing and delivery for those applicants and licensees. And then we'll do a deeper dive into some of the favorites from the fall topics. We have expanded the pre-recorded videos for our learning management system that will include additional pre-recorded videos on a wide range of topics pertinent to all cannabis businesses. And as a new offering this year, we are hosting 70 hours of office hours, which will consist of small group Q&A sessions with our subject matter experts. This is a chance for social equity individual applicants to ask questions relevant to their business or their career pathway goals. Next, please. Now, every month, our social equity applicants receive the Business Licensing and Compliance Canna Dispatch. This is a monthly newsletter which previews all of the events and offerings from our BLC program for that month. Here you can see snapshots of our February newsletter, including how to sign up for upcoming events and a spotlight of one of our entrepreneurs. Next. Here you can see we also provide links to timely articles about cannabis from a variety of cannabis-centered news outlets and publications. We also link folks to our VCR Job Corner, so employers and employees in our local cannabis market may connect. Next. This is a review of our February events. We had our February webinar series, which included some exciting topics, such as commercial leases and negotiation. We did webinars on identifying funds and raising capital and equity share requirements, state and local hiring compliance, and much more. And we will conduct our February series tonight. We will conclude our February series tonight with a webinar entitled Identifying Funds and Raising Capital. We hope to see our applicants and licensees here. Next, please. The February virtual advising sessions. Now, these are free small group coaching sessions that are open to our verified social equity applicants. Subject matter experts join the virtual rooms to discuss topics such as marketing and branding, cybersecurity, licensing, and other topics. We would like to impress upon our applicants that this is always a free resource and a great opportunity to meet with experts who can help address your specific needs. Next slide, please. Now, our March live webinar events preview. Go back, please. Yes. We are hosting 2 live webinars per week for the month of March. Topic includes curriculum for job seekers, management, recruitment, and training, March beachside chats, business of cannabis retail, business plans and operational development, business of cannabis distribution and contracting, and business of cannabis delivery. I think you should go back one more, Brittany. It has the list of yes, thank you. That's what I'm reading from. So all of these are our webinars for the month of March. We have 2 webinars each week for the entire month of March. Next slide, please. Okay, this graphic speaks specifically to the free final session for support with your application for a commercial cannabis license. That happens March 2nd. Next slide. Now, this series works with social equity workers, local hires, and traditional workers who are interested in careers in cannabis, and it coaches them on finding a career pathway which is best suited to their strengths and interests and identifying compatible employers. Next. March career development sessions. This slide shares information regarding 3 upcoming virtual career development sessions for job seekers. The social equity program understands and recognizes that all social equity applicants will not become entrepreneurs, but we do have a sincere interest in working in the cannabis space. We are therefore dedicated to our workforce development program. Next slide, please. Very excited to announce that we are hosting our 2nd Grow 2022 Career Fair on March 19th at LA Trade Tech College. It will be held outdoors on the North Quad and will feature Tamika Drew as the keynote speaker. Ms. Drew is a social equity applicant and the founder and CEO of her own cannabis company, Pico. She is also the Vice President of Licensing and Compliance for EASE. Job seekers will have the opportunity to interview with LA's local cannabis businesses and jumpstart their career in cannabis. Next. On March 18th, the day before, we will also be hosting a virtual pre-event for job seekers. Job seekers can use this time to brush up on interviewing skills. They can talk to career coaches about strategy and review their resume. Next. Now I will transition on to other resources of the Business Licensing and Compliance Program, our online learning management system, or LMS. This was launched this fall. All verified social equity individual applicants and licensees, which is approximately 1,600 people, have received an email with their unique login information. This slide shows what our users will see once they are able to log into our LMS. And now I'd like to introduce this body to Ethan Spalding. Ethan is a management analyst in the department and plays an integral role on the social equity team. Ethan has been this team's leader as it relates to the development, management, and rollout of this resource. He works directly with our vendors to create the content as well as manages and oversees platform. We would not be here without Ethan's leadership and his willingness to collaborate across the city departments, as well as his calm and professional approach to problem solving. And with that, I'm going to turn the presentation over to you.
Thank you, Dr. Brown, for that introduction, and good afternoon, commissioners, and everyone watching this meeting. As Dr. Brown just mentioned, my name is Ethan Spalding. I'm on the social equity team. I've had the privilege of helping set up this learning management system and adding all of the wonderful content to this system. So I've recorded a video that is going to walk everyone through, give you an in-depth, thorough explanation of all the offerings we currently have available. At the end, I even have a quick presentation on what it'll look like if you want to access the LMS from your mobile phone, because it's available on the web as well as mobile. So if Brittany can go to the next slide, we can play the video. I will have to let you guys know the audio is a little bit low. I do apologize. I didn't have a mic when I was recording it. But I do hope that you all can understand what I'm saying, and I will definitely be here to answer any questions that you all may have after the video concludes. So we can go ahead and press play now. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Ethan Spalding. I'm a member of the Department of Cannabis Regulations Social Equity team. I will be walking you through our online learning management system, commonly referred to as the LMS. This is a part of our Business Licensing and Compliance Assistance program that is available to all verified social equity individual applicants. So, as you can see, this is the login page. You'll know you're in the right place because you will see the department's logo along with our specific BLC logo. For the email field, you will enter in your Acela email, whatever email you use to be verified as a social equity individual in Acela, you'll use that same email. If you have not logged into the system before, your password is going to be password1 with a capital P. If you've logged in before, you've already known that it will then prompt you to change your password to something that you can then remember for our future use. So we will go ahead and log in. Then you'll be taken to our landing page. Once again, you'll know you're in the right place if you see the DCR logo along with the BLC logo. Also, do note if you see any of these messages at the top, you may think that they're not important, but they are important. So as you can see, this Friday from 5:30 to 10:30 p.m., the LMS will be unavailable due to a software update. And this is from our partners Cornerstone, who are providing the platform. This is not a DCR maintenance. This is a Cornerstone maintenance that they're doing on their entire system. So once again, pay attention to these messages because they may be letting you know when this portal may be unavailable in the future. But back to the landing page, you'll find a welcome video from our executive director, Kat Packer, which I will briefly play for you.
Calling all budding entrepreneurs across the city of Los Angeles. Are you interested in opening a cannabis business but don't know where to start? You've come to the right place.
Below the welcome video, we also have a written welcome message welcoming all the participants in the program. This was written by our Social Equity Program Director, Dr. Brown. Below the welcome message, this will look different depending on your usage. For the My Training in Progress, it will just show which trainings you have opened up, so you'll be able to quickly launch and go back to those specific courses. So once again, this section will look different depending on which trainings you have personally engaged with. If you scroll back up to the top, on this right side, we have 3 buttons. So these will be your 3 main navigation buttons for the LMS. And the first one is to go to the courses. This will take you to all of our online courses on various topics, whether it be general business development, workforce development, or cannabis technology. I'll take you through more in depth in a second. Our digital resources tab, this is where we have all of our webinars and other recorded videos, things like that. And then we have our events calendar, which is exactly as it sounds. It's a calendar where we post all of our events. This is really our third point of contact for the events. We post them on the website. We also send them out in emails, and we post them here on the LMS. So hopefully, no matter where you're interacting with the BLC program, you're aware of all the wonderful events that are taking place. And as I mentioned, if you're unable to make any of these events, most of them, especially the webinars, are recorded and will be put in this digital resources tab. So as I mentioned, I'll take you through these tabs more in depth now, and we'll start with the courses. So as you can see, as of right now, it's pulling up 25 results. So we have 25 courses for you currently. We have more that are being added every week. So continually check back. We have, as I mentioned earlier, we have them on all different subjects, whether it be general business development, cannabis, app technology, or workforce development. And as you can see, the different subjects we have: accounting, part 1 and 2, branding and marketing, part 1 and 2, cannabis app technology, cannabis production and alternative pathways, crypto and blockchain technology, cultivation technology, financial planning part 1, as well as financial planning part 2, insurance part 1 and part 2, inventory management part 1, part 2, merchandise transportation and delivery part 1 and part 2, patient and consumer safety, payroll part 1 and part 2, records retention, security part 1, part 2, standard operating procedures, technology integration, state and local hiring compliance, and testing lab technology. So as I mentioned, this is currently what we have available. We're adding more and more courses each week. I'll take you through 2 examples of the courses. We have 2 main course styles. We'll start with this branding and marketing part 1 as an example. So when you click on the course, you'll see the name, the details of the course, also ratings and reviews. We have the LMS open to review. So as you can see, Mr. Blanchett and Mr. Linares were nice enough to leave 5-star reviews for this course. We welcome all sort of feedback. Not only can you leave stars, but you can also leave comments. So please, as you're taking these courses, feel free to rate them and comment on them so that we can get your honest feedback and continue to provide content that's not only relevant to you, but exceptional and things like that. So we'll go through, like I said, this branding and marketing part 1, just kind of show you what this course style looks like. Also, make sure you have pop-ups enabled because it may launch in another tab. So I actually started this course already. So we'll go to the beginning. So as you can see, this course is broken down into 5 video modules. The title's branding and marketing, gives you an overview of what this is. So you'll be able to recognize the difference between branding, marketing, advertising, understand the importance of building a strong brand in cannabis industry, things like that. Identifying federal, state, and local laws which restrict marketing and advertising of cannabis products, which is hugely important, and recognizing packaging and labeling requirements, as well as identifying the terms that govern the use of cannabis-related content on social media. So I will take you through the course. So this is the first module. As you can see, a brief description of what this module will cover. It's that first point about breaking down the difference between branding, marketing, and advertising.
This content was not created by the Department of Cannabis Regulation or the City of Los Angeles and is for informational purposes only. This information is subject to change and does not replace or supersede the Los Angeles Municipal Code nor constitute legal advice.
Hello, my name is Tiffany Watkins. I'm a 30-year cannabis industry veteran,
and the founder and CEO of Vanguard Media Online, a platform and a magazine for women in the cannabis space. This video, but just recalling your brand won't necessarily cannabis brand development.
So as you can see, this is more of a lecture style where there's a slideshow. You can see the subject matter expert, in this case, Ms. Tiffany Watkins. She's in the corner right, explaining the slides and providing more context. And that's essentially the theme for how this entire course is going to go. Beneath it, you'll find any related digital resources on this particular topic, so you can easily hit download and have this document for later, or you can go through it as you're going through the course as well. You can proceed to the next video. As you can see, it's the same exact style as that previous module, a brief description of what this module is about, as well as a video about the module with the digital assets available for download directly below it. And that's how it is for all the different modules. Once you get to the end, they have all of the different resources related to this course that you can easily download, like I said, one by one, find which ones are most relevant to you, and then at the end there's a brief conclusion where you can choose to exit the course, go back to the LMS courses view, or if you want to test your knowledge of this particular topic, you can go ahead and take this quiz. It's optional. It won't affect your completion of the course, but we did want to include that option available for those who, like I said, want to test their knowledge of the subject that was just presented to them. So that's one style of course that you may encounter as you're going through the LMS. I'll briefly take you through another style. Go back to the home. And this time we'll look at accounting part 1. Once again, the page should look the same as the branding and marketing, except different details about the course, the name, the duration, and as well as a chance for people to review. Go ahead and launch. So this, you'll notice, is more animated. You don't actually see the subject matter experts in this video, but they're still there in the background providing more details about what they're explaining on the screen. I'll briefly play it.
Hello, this is part 1 of the accounting curricula brought to you by the City of Los Angeles Department of Cannabis Regulation. This curriculum provides informational guidance on general business practices and requirements for starting and continuing a cannabis industry business. Participants will gain information on how to incorporate generally accepted accounting practices into their business. After watching this training video, you'll be able to have a service level.
Right, so that should be enough to kind of give you a feel for how the rest of this video is going to go. At the bottom, you can toggle on your closed captioning. In the other style of video, the closed captions are automatic. You can also zoom to fit, make it more accessible text. There's also included quizzes in here. Like I said, it's optional, won't affect your completion of this course. You can exit the course, and then all the resources that you need for this particular course are going to be in the top right. You'll see it says resources. You click there, and then there's each individual document that's either discussed or related to this particular module that you can then click on and download. So we'll go ahead and exit this. And now I'll walk you through the digital resources. So this is where we have all of our videos and anything that's not considered a quote unquote course. So you'll find all of our recorded webinars. We had a fall webinar series on a lot of the same topics that we have on in the courses tab. We did webinars on those same exact topics, brought back those subject matter experts in order to provide more context and details on those topics, as well as a Q&A session for everyone who participated to, ask those subject matter experts questions related to their business and things like that. So as I was mentioning, you'll be able to find recordings of all these webinars. So as you can see, accounting, this one was originally recorded September 16th, 2021. Branding and marketing part 1, which was on September 21st. Delivery and transportation part 1. Financial planning, insurance, inventory management part 1, inventory management part 2. We've also had a series of licensing webinars. So our most recent ones were on January 13th on location requirements, as well as January 20th for temporary approval. And then we had some in October as well. We have those are on the temporary approval process. We have payroll, records retention, security requirements part 1 and 2, as well as all the Tech Week videos. So we have cannabis app and business tech, cultivation tech, blockchain tech, testing lab tech, as well as standard operating procedures technology. And as I mentioned, these were all recorded previously. The dates that they were recorded are listed on there. So we'll go ahead and click on one of them just to show you exactly what it'll look like. So you'll be taken to this exact same page. It'll sort of look like a course, except, this time it'll say material. It has the name, the duration. Feel free to rate the webinars as well, along with the courses. As you can see, it pops up to YouTube, where you can then full screen.
Other educational sessions is the official launch.
And this one was on accounting.
Foundation for yourself in terms of accounting. So the first one.
So as you can see, we had subject matter expert Kiyoshi Smith on this accounting webinar. He was presenting, like I said, more in-depth information about accounting as it specifically relates to businesses, and cannabis businesses as well. And then at the end, we had a Q&A session with Kiyoshi where we took audience questions and he answered them. So this is going to be the format for all of the webinars that are currently on the LMS. And then finally, we'll walk you through the events calendar. So as I mentioned, it's just a calendar of all of our events. You'll be able to see our upcoming webinars. So we have a February webinar series. This one is on resources for cannabis businesses and job seekers. If you go ahead and click on it, it'll take you to what this specific one was about: commercial leases and negotiation. It tells you the date. It was originally February 1st from 6 to 7 p.m. and it was a Zoom meeting. Then as you can see, this is the overall details. So this link may look like it's clickable, but unfortunately it's not. We're working on making it clickable, but for now you can just copy and paste the above link. This will take you to the webinar registration page where you can register for all the webinars, because they are held on Zoom. They're not held through the LMS, they're held on Zoom. So you will need to go to this registration link, register for the webinars, get a link to the actual Zoom webinar and attend. And as I mentioned in February for the webinar series, it was on Tuesdays and Thursdays. They're from 6 to 7 p.m. and they're on the topics listed below. So we had commercial leases and negotiations on the 1st, state and local hiring compliance on the 10th, hemp and non-retail career pathways on the 15th, technology resource lists on the 17th, worker education and certification on the 22nd, and then tonight we have identifying funds and raising capital. And as you can see, more details about the remaining sessions are here. And if you go back, it'll take you back to all the calendars. So we have our monthly beachside chats. We also have our free virtual business advice, different topics. So some are on licensing, some are on technology, but these were what we were previously branding as office hours, where we have a subject matter expert who's available from 12 to 3. Well, this one is particularly from 12 to 2. This one is from 12 to 3. And you can just pop in anytime and ask the subject matter expert more in-depth questions concerning your business. So for this one on the 8th concerning technology, if you had specific technology questions, you would have been able to hop in. Say you could only join from 2:15 to 2:30. You could have used the link at 2:15, hopped in, joined the discussion, asked your questions. Once they were answered, feel free to leave. And, that was it. And then you can attend, multiple sessions. If you look, we have events all the way up until April scheduled so far. Every month is jam-packed with events. So we do hope that you do attend. All the webinars will be recorded and placed in the digital resources. And that will conclude the desktop presentation of the LMS. I will now walk you through what it'll look like on mobile for those interested in accessing this system on their phones. First thing you want to do is go to your App Store. I'm on iPhone, so this is the iOS App Store. You're going to search for Cornerstone. Should be the top results. Cornerstone Learn by Cornerstone On Demand. It's in the business category. Should have thousands of reviews. Should look pretty similar to this, just to make sure that you have the correct app. Once you do, you can hit open. It'll ask for the portal. The portal is LA City, no caps. Once again, that's LACITY, no caps. You'll advance, you'll enter in your login credentials, which are the same as the website version. So you're going to use your Acela email and whatever password you designated for your Cornerstone account. So you'll go ahead and enter in that information. Then it should log you in. If you're on iPhone, you'll see similar notifications asking about Face ID, notifications, things like that. Those are all totally personal preferences. So you can choose whether or not you want to allow that or not. But the main thing is, once you log in, you'll see you're able to continue all your learning. It'll have some what it calls top picks for you, the most popular, as well as the featured. So let's say you wanted to search for records retention. Go ahead and type in records. It'll pop up that course. Here you'll see, details about the course that you're about to take. It'll look slightly different, but pretty much the same as the website version. It's just slimmed down to fit on that vertical screen, but it has all the same information, the overviews of each module. You can go ahead and click on the video. It'll pop up, start playing that whole video full screen. You can also see that the digital assets are there as well to download to your phone or mobile device. And then you can go ahead and exit out of that course as well. And that'll conclude my presentation. Thank you.
Wow.
Good afternoon,
Thank you,
everyone.
Ethan. Thank you. That was wonderful. Okay, so moving on, I'm going to give you some updates on the SEED grant program. Next slide. Okay, so in April of 2021, the City of LA established the Social Equity Entrepreneur Development Grant Program, or SEED. SEED grant program utilized funding from the Cannabis Equity Grant for Local Jurisdictions, or better known as CEG grant, to provide financial assistance to verified social equity individual applicants. To date, the City of LA has dedicated $6 million to the SEED grant program. $5 million were available to SEED 1.0, and $1 million was available to SEED 2.0. The application period opened April 20th of 2021, and it closed August 18th, 2021. Next, please. SEED grant program is administered in partnership with Elevate Impact, which is a female minority-owned business. Now, at the close of the grant period, 148 Phase 3 Retail Round 1 applicants received $25,000 in grant funds. Next. At the close of the grant period, 58 verified social equity applicants who had been deemed eligible for further processing and some who had achieved a status of local compliance underway received grants up to $10,000. Next. On December 6th, all remaining grant funds were distributed amongst all grant recipients on a pro rata basis. The funds remaining from the $5 million were distributed evenly among all 148 SEED 1.0 grant applicants, and funds remaining from the $1 million were distributed evenly to all 58 SEED 2.0 applicants. So SEED 1.0 applicants received $33,783, and SEED 2.0 applicants received $15,172 or $20,172. Next, please. As of December 6, 2021, the City of LA has dispersed $6 million to 206 social equity applicants and licensees. All of our SEED grant dollars have been dispersed. Next. Now, as a part of the SEED grant program, Elevate Impact LA, our grant administrator, has surveyed our recipients to glean information regarding their greatest needs and challenges in establishing commercial cannabis businesses in LA. The full report will be presented next month, but we wanted to show some preliminary findings. First, this graph shows which business types our recipients own. The vast majority, 64.4%, have a retail storefront business. Second largest pool of 25.4% are business owners that are delivery-only dispensaries. And the third group comprise cultivators and non-volatile manufacturers. Next. Second graph shows how they spent their grant funds. The majority, 35.6%, reported spending their grant on rent or mortgage. The next group is legal fees, which is 22%, and the third largest expenditure went towards equipment at 18.6%. Next, please. Finally, this graph shows how much startup capital our recipients reported needing to establish their commercial cannabis businesses. Majority of respondents, 27%, reported needing between $100,000 and $250,000. The other categories are not far behind, with 20% of the respondents reporting $100,000 needed to start up, 18.6% at $250,000 to $500K to start up, 15.3% reported startup costs at $500,000 to $1 million, and 18.6% at $1 million or more to start up a cannabis business in LA. Now, this is a clear barrier for entry for our equity entrepreneurs, and we will be adjusting our programming and services to address this need. However, access to capital for equity entrepreneurs requires a comprehensive and intentional program that will involve resources that DCR currently does not have. Next. To date, the City of LA has received the following grants: 2019 and 2020, we have fully dispersed through our seed grant. 2021 grant funds, they're in development, and the 2022 grant dollars have yet to be received. Next, please. Now, we are proud to announce that the City of LA will receive over $5.7 million in funding for our equity grant program from the 2022 CEG grant. As you can see here, the City of LA received the most funding out of all of our other jurisdictions. While we are excited for this incredible resource, we have to point out that because we do not receive consistent funding from the city, we must constantly work to find it elsewhere. So this department's revenues brought in $113 million to the city last year. Our program does not have guaranteed and consistent funding for our social equity program. Without a consistent source of funding, it's very difficult to do long-range planning. We readjust with the amounts we receive from the grants, and they vary from year to year. Next slide. CR has expanded eligibility for our pro bono legal services program. It now includes delivery-only applicants, which are deemed eligible for further processing. Communications went out to these applicants by email and text messages. If you do not receive this communication, but you believe that you're eligible, please contact us at dcr.sep@lacity.org so we can assist you. This is a wonderful new expansion to our pro bono program. This is a screenshot, next please, of the page where you can sign up for this service. Please complete the online survey and upload the authorization agreement to complete the process. It's just two forms, and it's very easy to apply. Now, the goal of the BOC program is to deliver services that help social equity applicants achieve their goals for their cannabis businesses. In response to the needs of our applicants, we are beginning some new projects which we believe will offer meaningful assistance. We look forward to announcing these programs as they become available. Thank you, commissioners, and that is the end of my presentation. I will turn it back over to Director Pack.
Thank you so much, Dr. Brown and Ethan, for contributing to today's presentation for agenda item number 3. I was really excited getting a chance to watch the video, learning about the learning management software and system that we've put together, and really the excellent job that you all have done in taking the resources that you all have been given and building programming and finding ways to make it so that it's savvy, interesting, and accessible. Part of the reason, commissioners, why I wanted Dr. Brown to lead this presentation today and really do a robust job of explaining some of the programming is because there has been, I think, this misconception and misperception of the resources and programming that we have available here in the city of Los Angeles. I was frustrated to read a couple of weeks ago one of our applicants talking about their experience in the process and how they didn't have access to information about things like how to put together an operational plan or how to secure capital. I want to use this as an opportunity to amplify that these resources are available. We have over 100 hours of programming available to folks that they can get on demand, either through the learning management system itself, the LMS, or through the office hours that we have. But I think Dr. Brown hit it on the head. The reality is that it has been difficult for us to do this kind of long-term and strategic planning that we know is necessary for the continuous improvement of our social equity program when there's just not a consistent source of funding. And we're not alone in this challenge. The reality is that I think many regulators, many jurisdictions are similarly situated where these budget allocations are made year to year. And the reality is that there's not enough resources to do the type of programming that we want to do. And so we share kind of all of this content brought to you by the Business Licensing and Compliance Assistance Program, because we want this commission, we want stakeholders to know that when we're asking for, $3 million for business licensing and compliance assistance, this is the type of work, this is the type of work product, these are the types of experts that you would have access to. And so I really just want to thank Dr. Brown and her team for standing this work up. As she mentioned, all of the monies that we got for the SEED program has been dispersed. We want to be in a position as a department where we can continue to help our applicants navigate through their challenges, navigate through barriers. We want to be able to do more. And in order for us to be able to do more, we need more. And so again, I think I want to just echo my appreciation for this body and your support of our advocacy, not only for the policies and programs that we need, but for the continuous resources that we'll need, not only to sustain these programs, but to expand them, because we know that that's the only way that we're going to be able to accomplish the mission that we have as a licensing and regulatory body, and also the mission of the social equity program. But I appreciate this body's audience for this presentation. We're intentional with taking a little bit more time to walk things through. But of course, if you all have any questions for myself or my team regarding agenda item number 3, anything related to the equity program, we're here to answer those questions.
Thank you, Ms. Packer. I just want to echo those thoughts and thank Dr. Brown and the team for all of your hard work. Without the necessary resources, we can't have a meaningful social equity program. And so all the work that you're doing, the disbursements to the various applicants, all of this is so critical in supporting our social equity program and our applicants. So I just want to thank you for all of your efforts in that regard. With that, I want to open up the floor to my fellow commissioners. I see Vice President Mason has her hand up.
Thank you, President On. Thank you, Dr. Brown and Ethan, for the presentation. It's rich with content, and I appreciate that. And I hope that the social equity community would grow to appreciate that as well. I have a question about engagement. How many hits are you guys receiving overall? I won't ask for each individual module, that might be too much, but if you have an aggregate number thus far, just curious.
And Dr. Brown, if you could come back on to share the information, but while you're in the process of coming back on, I'll just articulate and I'll ask you to elaborate. That we are working very closely with our vendor and the folks who are helping us manage the learning management, the LMS, so that we can have all of these data points. That's part of the reason why we intentionally built the surveys directly into the system itself. My team has a protocol where after every single webinar, before the webinar starts, it's announced that there's going to be a survey at the end. We intentionally 10-15 minutes before the event ends, make sure that folks have access to the survey. But what you'll be able to see from this team, Vice President Mason and commissioners, is really, you're going to be able to see the most robust social equity program in the nation. And the reason why I say that is because I've had an opportunity to engage with other regulators in other jurisdictions, and now we're starting to see reports come out from other jurisdictions about what they're doing. And I can tell you that they're not doing what we're doing. They're not collecting the type of information that we're collecting. And again, we're just getting started. What you're seeing today is a result of investments that were made back in 2019. And I think that that's the overall kind of sentiment. We have to be able to make investments today. And sometimes we may not see them for several months, but we have to make that investment early on if we're going to be able to see these outcomes. But Dr. Brown, if you or Ethan can elaborate on some of the data that we've been able to collect, specifically responding to Vice President Mason's question about engagement, I'd appreciate it.
And I'm going to ask you to respond to that as it relates to the LMS. Vice President Mason asked about how many hits that we got for that particular resource. So I think that's what you were asking. Vice President Mason, Ethan, do you want to speak to that?
Yeah, so I can run you a report to get you a more accurate count. But the last time I ran the report, it was around, we had about like 50 people who are usually like active each month, and have been like interacting heavy, spending a lot of hours in the LMS, which obviously we're trying to bump those numbers up very high, especially considering we have, over 1,600 people who have access to this service currently. All verified social equity individuals have access. They've been added to the system. So yeah, we are, finding ways to how we can push this out there and better engage the community so that they know that we have these hours and hours. And like I said, I can run a more detailed report today and get you some exact numbers, but I unfortunately don't have a, to date accurate number for you right now.
Thank you. Thank you. I can appreciate that. I want people to use it. And I know that there are other resources out there that and industry experts out there that people may turn to independently to get the information that they need and the tools that they need to be successful operators. But if the city is providing the service, and certainly given the fact that resourcing is not quite consistent or stable, that people will take advantage of this opportunity and add it to their vault of resources that they're using to be successful.
Vice President Mason, as we get the analytics and see how many people are using this resource, we have decided to be very intentional on a marketing campaign and an outreach campaign to make sure that every trade organization, all the stakeholders, our council members, they also get a copy of our Cannabis dispatch. And we are going to do a major marketing campaign of these resources because these are free, wonderful, high resolution offerings that you don't usually get for free. And so that's our next iteration with our notices to proceed with our vendors, our subject matter experts. So to your point, that's on the horizon, is to do a major outreach campaign consistent so that folks will know about this resource and will utilize it.
Thank you. We just want, I know I hope I speak for the other commissioners, and I'm sure that I do. We just want everyone to be successful and to win at this and take advantage of every resource that's out there, especially the free ones. And speaking of the Cannabis dispatch, I'd love to receive a copy of that. If you could add.
Absolutely. I thought you had received our February monthly newsletter. Has any of the other commissioners, have you received your Cannabis dispatch newsletter for February? Because the March one is coming out next week. If I could just get a quick response, because you're on our list. Has anyone on the commission received our Cannabis dispatch newsletter?
I haven't received it. This is Commissioner Villa.
Okay.
I'm going to recheck my email right now.
We will send it out today to everybody.
Okay, great.
We'll resend it.
Thank you, Dr. Brown.
Thank you. I have no further comments.
Okay, great. Thank you, Vice President Mason. We have Commissioner Villa.
Yes, I just want to, commend Dr. Brown and her team for the fabulous job that they've done. The quality of that educational content that they showed today was really high, in my opinion. And I was also very interested in the cost information that that graphic that was presented towards the end of the presentation, showing just how much it costs to enter this market and it's shocking how much it costs, and it just demonstrates the need for the social equity program, because there's clearly money is a barrier to entry into this marketplace. Yet I know that, when we commented at the beginning, when there was a low number of participants in the seed grant program, and we addressed that with Dr. Brown, and the next month we already saw tremendous tremendous success in the numbers moving up of people who were able to receive those grants. And I have no doubt that even though maybe there haven't been a lot of people utilizing this, that when these programs, educational programs, yet I have no doubt that when Dr. Brown says, you know, she's on it with getting this information out there, that there will be success in this too. So I just commend Dr. Brown and her team for all their work. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Villa. And it is a team effort, make no mistake about it. So this analytic feedback really helps to inform us in terms of our future programming. And that has been such a help for us to get this feedback, you know, in real time from our stakeholders and entrepreneurs, that it helps us to know where to put our resources in terms of training and development.
Okay, Commissioner Villa, anything else?
No, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Commissioner Mercado, do you have anything?
No comment other than just the thank you for all the hard work and time that Dr. Brown and her team put in. Excellent presentation.
Okay, great. Okay, I don't see any other comments. With that, I want to again express my appreciation to all of our staff for all the preparation that went into this meeting. I want to thank the members of the public for listening in and participating as well. And with that, I'm going to adjourn today's meeting. The time now is 4:12. Thank you, everybody.